Hello, and welcome to yet another how-to video on Swift.ng ERP. And in this video, we'll be looking at setting up the HR module of the software. You will be able to create the departments, designations, grading or grade levels of staff, various types of leave, staff groups, NHS providers, pension providers, banks, and all those setup fields are basically required to enable you create your team members or staff. So we're going to go right away into the system, and as usual, we get to a browser and type www.swift.ng and then log into the system. So I'm going to log in right away. I think I have my password stored in my system already. So we get right into the HR module. In the previous video, I'd already shown you an overview of the HR module, so I won't go there today. So today we just go straight to the settings. So we can see all the links in the HR settings. You can set up staff categories, staff departments, and banks, designation, department head access. I'll just explain a little bit about what all these links are about. So we start with categories. This is more of HR categories. So if you group your staff into various payroll categories so that you process their salaries at different times, this will be the best for you. Like what I did for this small firm would be to just create one category called all staff. So when I'm creating a staff, I set them to that. Now, the next would be departments. So we have a couple of departments set up by Swift by default. You can edit them and add much more departments to the set of departments you currently have just by typing a department and saving it there. We get back again to the settings. You see things like banks. That's for all the banks that your staff have accounts in. So we have just one here, and you can add much more. The next would be designations as the various ranks or positions in the company. You can always add as many as you would want. So let me just add one so that you have an idea about how that works. So I just enter the details and field. Get back to HR settings again. Department head access. Now this is how this works. Should you have a large organization with different heads of departments, you would want just the head of a particular department to have access to his or her staff. So usually you're expected to give access to, for example, this staff. I can give access to everybody in this department, right? So just by selecting that and click creating. So you can give also one staff access to multiple departments like I have done here. So if it's a small organization, just make sure you do that. If it's a large organization, you can restrict number of staff that you have access to updating and changing details of their team members. So this leave setup also where you can set up your various types of leave. I think we have two here. There's casual and annual leave, and if there are much more, you can just add and fill them very easily here. So we go back again to the settings. So what again do we have here? Key performance indicators. So you can also create key performance indicators. You can also have groups, staff groups, very important. For instance, we have this group created here called ESCO. So if I click that ESCO, I'm going to see I can add members to that group. So that's the only staff I have here. And he's the CEO of the executive council of this organization. And we can always keep updates of whenever they have meetings. So they had a meeting on a meeting today, and you can just enter the summary of the meeting here and click create. So this basically helps you keep track of activities of each of the groups you create. So there can be a group, maybe a committee that's been created, and you can keep track of what they do there. So back to settings again, you can send a text message or an email to people in a particular staff in a particular department, put in the subject here and then the message, and that's all. just send the message to them. You can upload your staff list from an Excel template. So just by clicking this, and then you get the template, fill it up, and then use this part to upload. You can view a couple of HR related reports here. You can set up the grade levels and steps of the staff, and quite a number of links here that relate to the HR and the payroll module. You can create the PENCOM providers for each of the staff. You just click that and can create. You can NHIS providers, PENCOM providers, and you can also create objective fields for appraisers. So you can see a couple of them here that I had created. So you can appraise your staff monthly. So far I've shown you how what to do to generally set up the software. But before I get to the end of this, let me just open. I'm trying to create a new staff. I won't create, just want to show you how what we've done is going to be displayed in the team module. So you can see these are the departments that we set up, designations we did set up. I think staff categories hit all. If we scroll to the bottom, you'd have seen the bank that we did enter. We hadn't created an NHS provider or any of those things, so you don't have. But that's all about the setting up the HR module. So in the next video, we'll be going into step by step how to handle each of the various fields or tasks under the HR module. Thank you.